Sun Lodge Village at Peguis First Nation is a place for people of all nations to come together. Here we celebrate the precious gift of life that we share, gathering together for ceremony, prayers, traditional teachings, and living with the land. The elders have kept the ancestral fires burning to help us remember our traditional values and ways of living. Now the Sun Lodge Village is building that fire to burn brightly once again for our children. Momentum is growing as more and more people come to the lodge to discover who they are, to find healing, and to expand that circle of strong and healthy families, communities, and nations.
The vision for the Sun Lodge was brought to us by Mick Nacone's Little Turtle, the late Shirley Guimond McCorrister. This story is told by narrator Steve Bear, who was Little Turtle's personal care helper for many years. Dwayne McCorrister, Little Turtle's life partner, extended family members, and others in the Sun Lodge Village circle. Little Turtle calls us all to be warriors of love, to live according to the natural laws, and to never give up in working for Creator.
Kiza Sinane Dish Nakas, Kanundu Tem, Wapskemish Gichitak. My name is Sunman. I'm from the Eagle Clan. I'm a White Horse warrior. I want to begin by giving thanks for another breath of life and for this journey I've been a part of now for the last 27 years. And to be able to sit here today and express that the Sun Lodge is now in place, something that we've been working on for the last 4 years now. And it all stems from the training, the upbringing we've been through on the last 27 years. And that would have been going to our elders, our teachers, and allowing them through their spiritual guidance to help us to get to where we are today. And for my family at the Sun Lodge setting, it's a reflection of how far we've come. It's a reflection of how we want to live, how we're trying to live.
And I'm really proud of this place because it comes from spirit, not from degrees and diplomas and universities. It comes from our people being humble enough to receive a vision from the Creator and then making it happen.
You know, it's not something we took upon ourselves just out of our mind to say, well, we think this is a good idea, we want to do it. It all unfolded as we moved along. It was all a part of the journey, and it's still a part of the journey. And I know there's other communities that are also on that journey and a part of that journey. And because it's such a sacred way of life, you know, the way this lodge, they told us, would be through the will, the hope, and the faith of the people. And when this vision first was provided and came to the family, it was up to us to first of all accept it, because we knew the challenges that would be behind it.
It's something that's so big. It's well beyond, what we can imagine, because of the way that it came through the sacrifice of all of us, as a family, as a community. I believe because of what's upon us and what we've been given, is a direct result of what our people have gone through. They've been taken, all those years ago, put into places where they have, been through everything that you can think of, and the effects of it are still there today, because it's a cycle. It keeps repeating itself. But Spirit tells us that because of what we have lost. That something so beautiful, given by a Creator, will never be taken by anyone. That we had to go through and survive all those things, and now those things are coming back.
The spiritual connection, that became a part of their lives to what this lodge stands for. And the spiritual connection, that we have to the Creator and the environment that the Creator put here. My family, was determined that this Sun Lodge, and because of what understandings that we have, we were going to build. And we were going to build, with whatever means and ways, that we could make possible. And my family, went out into the forest, through ceremony, cut the logs that you see in here, but we didn't know how we were going to get them home, but they were determined, we were going to bring them home. Whether it would be all physical work to do that, we didn't know. So we just kept, ceremonies and kept using, prayers.
The foundation of this lodge, like just what you see now, was just strictly labor, like man labor. There was no machinery other than the tree farmer that was used to haul the logs out of the bush, that. And of course the trailers and the trucks used to haul the logs here, but all this lodge was put up by the family,
and slowly, all of what you see in this lodge now happened, with support, other friends that we have in this community, and some of the people that have been into our ceremonies from the outside, made it possible with a few dollars that, they donated towards this lodge, and then through labor and a lot of in kind as we use it, labor in my family again, son-in-law and my boys, my son, they constructed this lodge just labor-wise. There was no machines involved here.
When we first started on the Sun Lodge, it was really exciting, just being able to see the foundation come up and then actually getting started on the building, the construction.
And I remember when the lodge first came and we moved out here. I remember first time I went out, there was a little turtle. It was just the floor. The floor was there and they were just standing up the poles, and I helped us one. And then she had trouble breathing and all that, so she had to leave. But I got the stand up pole, and then we went out there again, and they were just finishing the rafters on the roof. And that was the very top of the lodge, so I got to lay in a few rafters.
You notice on these poles, there's different pictures on there. And as we were building this lodge, each time we would put a pole up, a grandfather pole, all the center ones, they would tell us who this pole represents and who's there. One is the teacher that taught me the medicines, Grandpa Albert from Ontario. Granny Mabel sits in the back. The outer ring is the grandmother's. And she taught us, and showed us so many things. Granny Dorothy, Grandpa Steve, Grandpa Frank, my dad, all those ones sit around in this circle with us each time we gather. And they're always there supporting in that way.
And having them here with us it's a really comforting feeling, because whenever we're dealing with something or something personal, they're right there to call on, to lean on. I've come and talked to them many times, just holding them, talking to them, telling them what's going on. It's a real comforting feeling, and when we're working, they're right there, just watching, and it's a really good feeling.
I'll always have that picture in my mind where they're putting up that last log right there. And, you know, on Timber Kings, they have cranes and everything. But, you know, we just had homemade scaffold and a whole bunch of young men lifting that log up there. And I see my one son, and when he sees me going to take a picture, he puts his finger like this on that log. But I just think that, like, they put all these up by hand, and just, you know, the love that they have for knowing what this place is going to be. And it's just going to be a place for people to knock on the door, you know, maybe in the middle of the night and say, I need help. And we'll say, sure, come on, come in. Come in, it's nice and warm, and you don't need to freeze in the bush when it's raining. You know, that's what this place is. And,
Phase 1 of the Sun Lodge construction was completed in 2015. Little Turtle was still with us at that time. Then the Sun Lodge family went through a very challenging time when Little Turtle passed away in November of 2016. In addition, there was no funding to support the completion of the Sun Lodge construction.
But that didn't stop us. We still knew that we had to keep going because, you know, we're Aboriginal people and that's our way, and you don't give up.
By 2017 and 2018, a number of funding partners came together to provide the materials that allowed for the completion of the lodge. A large number of workers and skilled tradespersons came together, offering hundreds of hours of time and energy to make it all happen.
Ones that have given us the most funding, I guess, would be the TLE, the Surrender, the United Church, the Winnipeg Foundation, and Peguis Chief and Council.
Wow. Just wanted to cry and made me happy. Like, there's people out there, like good people, positive, and want to do these things, like for the kids, for our people.
The United Church Healing Fund supported the elders and construction supervisors to provide leadership according to the traditional teachings. The TLE Trust Fund contribution helped complete the external siding. The internal work began with the installation of electrical services. This was supported by Peguis First Nation Chief and Council.
So lucky to be part of this, and then it was just like right away just jumped into the project. And then I remember Tug was like, do you need some young guys? We'll send guys. And then there's like everyone just helping like pull the wires, and that's what just made it go so fast, like that whole roughing stage. Everyone just jumped in and was just working. There was like 3 guys underneath pulling the wires, and what do you want me to do next? Let's just do this. Like everyone was just working together. I remember when the lights first turned on, and then there was like a bunch of people, and then Tug was sitting here too. And then when the lights first turned on, I remember he just was like, I remember this yell of like delight. And he was like, he started clapping. He was like so happy. He's like, wow. And everyone's just like, wow. And also we were like, the deadline was coming really quickly. And then I just remember there was like, all of a sudden there was like 100 people in this building, like, and everybody was just doing something, like working just nicely together.
Then came the huge job of installing insulation and vapor barrier in all the walls and ceilings. Then came the installation of the drywall, and finally tongue and groove pine coverings on the walls and ceilings. All of this was made possible with funding support from the Peguis Surrender Claim Trust Fund.
So exciting. I mean, Little Turtle would talk. Can you see it now? Can you see how awesome it's going to be? When all the people come, we're going to do everything we want to do. We're going to do teaching, ceremony. We're going to have feasts, and celebrations, and birthdays, and on and on and on, Christmas, all that. yeah, I was really excited for it.
It was another opportunity to learn when it comes to the carpentry and the physical labor. For myself, I learned so many different ways of working with the tools, and it was really exciting because it just gave myself that opportunity to learn more and gain that more experience for future buildings or lodges that need to come up.
You just feel the good spirit in there come stronger and stronger. And it was always respectful in there. Always. It was like she was there. And I talked to her while I was there working. Finished one part of the ceiling or wall. Look jump. That's how you call it. It's coming true. We're getting close. We're almost done.
The Winnipeg Foundation provided funding for the subfloor and laminate floor covering, and the Manitoba Community Places program generously paid for a significant portion of the whole project, including the installation of plumbing services, washrooms, and a kitchen. In the meantime, Peguis Child and Family Services built 4 bunkhouse cabins to provide accommodations for children, youth, and families who come to the Sun Lodge. These cabins will accommodate up to 24 persons at one time.
Having the opportunity to work alongside the Sun Lodge family has been a very humbling experience for me. I had the opportunity to be part of planning and building the kitchen, and most recently I had a chance to work alongside a group of women as we worked in that kitchen to prepare meals for children who were coming for programming. That truly was a joyous moment for me. Everyone that day was working together in the lodge, and it was all for the benefit of the children. Those teachings of love and respect and humility were very evident that day. This building is truly creating a space where the vision of a real village can begin to unfold.
As the spiritual founder of the Sun Lodge Village, Little Turtle had an amazing talent to connect with guides from the spirit world. Now she guides us from the other side. Her vision is one of a healing village that becomes a model for the coming together of all the peoples of the earth.
And this lodge, is really just one phase of what we talk about as a village. This lodge is the centerpiece of what will eventually grow and become an even bigger picture, which would be a village.
The big vision is to have the lodge completed. It's to have gardens. It's to have a meat cutting house where, when the guys hunt, they'll have a place to prepare the meat and all of that. It's to have a play structure for the children. It's to have a parking lot for the people that comes. Like it's a really big vision. When I think about the big vision, I think, how are we ever going to accomplish that? And that's why we just have to take it one step at a time.
We don't know, what they have in store for us, but we do know it's going to be, something big, something good. They constantly tell us that be prepared because the people are coming. The young people are coming. And this lodge here, this building that we're sitting in, is just the beginning of much more that will eventually be in place, where the families will come and live and take the time that they need to get what they need before they go out there and begin living. Because life is a beautiful, beautiful gift.
And for our part, it's just a little tiny part that we play. But if it touches one person like that, that's just how it spreads and keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. And isn't that a wonderful way?
But when you come to ceremony, you're going to have a different connection again, because you're in a ceremony, a sacred ceremony. You're there to share. You're there to heal, and there are people here, that are going to help you, and you're safe. And this is the safest place in the world where you could do your healing, you know, and heal from all that pain that you're carrying, and you could let it go here.
You'll hear the elders say, "This is your lodge." You'll hear them time and time again say, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what color you represent, because we're all related.
It's been really exciting to be part of the construction of the Sun Lodge. It's now the end of the beginning of the journey toward the full Sun Lodge village. You know, this is a circle of people that really honors and cherishes those traditional Anishinaabe ways of living. These days, many non-Indigenous people are asking what true reconciliation might look like. One thing is very clear to me. It's time we step outside of our colonial institutions and those oppressive worldviews and tunnel vision that's so characteristic of Euro-Western cultures. Look, open your eyes and your hearts to see and experience the beauty and the wisdom that's so deeply embedded in Indigenous cultures. It's time we find some meaningful ways to support the grassroots people as they work so hard to reclaim that traditional strength. Getting involved with the Sun Lodge Village is one way to do just that.
Still a whole lot of other phases that we have to complete, and we're still on that process of reaching out and just looking for that support that's needed. It's one thing to hear the teachings and to hear the words. It's another thing to put your foot forward and go and really see what's being talked about here for yourself.
We can never stop, and you hear my family say that all the time. We can never stop in what we're doing. And I know, that things are just going to get better. We've been told many times by Spirit how close it's getting for our people to become who they really are.
I want my wish also is for a lot more people to step up and help.
The Sun Lodge Village is open to all. Everyone who is touched by this vision belongs in the circle. You too are part of this unfolding story, and you are invited to join with us in whatever ways you can to bring into physical reality that spiritual vision for the Sun Lodge and the Sun Lodge Village. Together we will see those ancient fires burning brightly again, the fires of truth, reconciliation, and restitution.